Welcome to the infographic show Ground Zero. Look, if you're a municipal manager or a public leader anywhere in the world, you already know that natural disasters are no longer just rare meteorological anomalies, right? They are absolutely the ultimate test of your operational, political, and economic resilience. Today we're diving into a really critical, urgent case study, the catastrophic 2024 floods in southern Brazil. And I want to be clear, this explainer isn't just about rainfall or precipitation levels. We're looking at what actually happens to municipalities' fundamental survival when the entire system just completely overloads.
So let's start with a massive number, 349,000. According to official peers and IBGE data, that is the exact number of people who were forced to relocate because of the flooding. I mean, just imagine an entire mid-sized city completely uprooted practically overnight. It's staggering. This visceral shock of mass displacement is the first of three critical numbers that every manager absolutely needs to confront, because it's really the starting point of an urban cascade of failures. It's a domino effect that trickles down into literally every single public sector you oversee.
But to truly grasp how these mass displacement events systematically dismantle local economies, and honestly, to stay ahead of the curve, subscribe now to understand the dynamics of urban risk. We're going to break down the raw data in this explainer so you can actually prepare your municipality well before the storm hits. Now, all that displacement we just talked about, it builds directly into a pretty stark structural reality, 55.5%. That's the percentage of affected homes that suffered severe structural damage in this event. We are translating a natural disaster directly into managerial stakes right here. Because a damaged property isn't just a devastating, life-altering tragedy for the family involved, though it absolutely is. But for a city manager, a damaged, devalued home fundamentally alters the entire operational and financial baseline of the city itself.
And this triggers what we call the silent tax shrinkage. Think about a municipality kind of like a living organism. When 349,000 people suddenly leave, its lifeblood just drains away. Displaced residents obviously aren't paying property taxes at a destroyed address. They're not spending money at the local shops in that neighborhood, and they certainly aren't enrolling their kids in the local schools anymore. It creates this invisible, long-term drain on municipal revenue and local commerce that will silently but relentlessly haunt your budget for years. The impact doesn't just show up in today's news cycle, it literally cripples your budget for the next 2 years.
But hey, physical infrastructure is really only half the story here. 67.5% of flood victims reported severe mental health impacts, alongside just totally disrupted family and social lives. For the local economy, this means your workforce is deeply traumatized and disorganized. Local businesses are inevitably going to suffer from lower productivity, increased absenteeism, and way higher employee turnover. And guess what? That loss of economic velocity cycles right back around into lower tax revenues for the city. It's a vicious cycle.
And of course, there is a dire political cost to all this systemic failure. Check this out. Only 41% of residents actually approved of the recovery efforts adopted post-disaster. When a crisis hits, a management team that doesn't have a solid, pre-planned crisis communication and response protocol doesn't just fail during the emergency itself. No, they fail the very next day, when the public forms its final opinion on who is truly prepared and who is just making it up as they went along. Systemic failure ruins political capital instantly. There's just no coming back from it.
Now, we can't just dwell on the 2024 fallout, we have to look ahead, because there is an imminent threat on the horizon. Predictive models from meteorological institutions are showing an over 90% probability of a strong El Niño forming in the second half of 2026 and extending into 2027. So we're looking at a highly probable climate cycle that is absolutely going to bring extreme weather once again, severely impacting agriculture, industry, logistics, and all your essential municipal services. The clock is already ticking on the next 90 days of your planning phase.
So if you are a manager or public leader following this explainer, consider subscribing to prepare for the next climate cycle. You literally have to make the hard decisions today to safeguard your operations and protect your community for 2026.
So how exactly do we build that capacity before it's too late? Well, we apply the Urban Resilience and Crisis Management Framework, or GCRU for short. And we've seen this work on a global scale. Take North Vancouver in Canada, for example. They actually won the UN Sasakawa Award for beautifully integrating community engagement right into their structural risk reduction. The framework is basically 4 steps. Step 1, organize your institutional roles and alliances so everyone knows who's in charge of what. Step 2, rigorously assess your local risks. Step 3, protect and upgrade your essential infrastructure. And Step 4, implement robust active response protocols. This framework is designed specifically so you build your capacity before the disaster strikes, which completely eliminates the need for improvisation.
Ultimately, the GCRU framework is grounded in stark reality.
True urban resilience isn't just some administrative buzzword you throw around in a meeting. It's about protecting actual communities, like keeping kids safe in their schools, and sustaining the local economy so people can put food on the table. Proactive measures, like carving out dedicated budgets specifically for disaster risk reduction and securing essential health and education services, are absolutely the only way to safeguard human lives and ensure the economic future of your municipality against what is, frankly, inevitable.
I want to leave you with one final, incredibly stark truth to think about. When everything fails, the manager pays, but the people suffer. Do not wait for the 2026 El Niño to figure this out. The blueprint is right here. The real question is, will your municipality be a cautionary tale, or will it be a model of resilience when the next storm hits?